Yeah, well, you really turned him around in there. I mean, you just knocked him flat.
Well, it's your case!
Two FBI officers are in an elevator when suddenly a young man steps in. They're stunned by the killer's fearless confidence, a man even the FBI can't break. Just then, another officer enters, the mother of the girl he murdered. The narrative opens as we are shown an office before us. The majority of the FBI agents are present here. In this setting, we meet an investigator by the name of Ray, who is seated with his partner, a woman named Jess. Jess is presenting him with choices regarding a few cases. Here we are introduced to another one of his colleagues, a man whose name is Bumpy. They are all conversing in the same manner. Here they have an additional associate whose name is Cypher. After a brief conversation with them, Ray walks into the room, where he is introduced to a woman named Claire. Claire has just recently started working here. Claire is exceptionally beautiful in appearance. Ray finds himself unable to look away from her. Then his gaze lands upon Claire's ring. Then it dawns on him that Claire is already engaged. Still, he continues to speak with her. Then he learns that Claire is an employee of the LAPD. After a lengthy conversation, just as he is leaving, he is informed that a young woman's body has been discovered on the river's edge. Now everyone's thoughts turn to that particular location. Because all of these individuals had always frequented the same spot to talk. There have also been a few other murders in this area. They suspect that all the murders may be connected in some way. They all prepare to depart for that location. As soon as they arrive here, they encounter a policeman by the name of Pierrot. Pierrot proceeds to tell them everything in a sequential manner. That this young woman's body was placed in the dumpster by the perpetrator. The perpetrator is extremely shrewd. He has used bleach to remove all of the young woman's fingerprints, so that no one can identify who this young woman is. A short time ago, someone witnessed a man arriving here, around 10:30, but he is uncertain of what this man looks like. No one possessed any information. This perpetrator is exceptionally cunning. We believe the young woman he murdered is a homeless person. That is why he was able to bring her here so effortlessly and murder her. Ray puts on gloves and approaches to see the young woman's face. The moment he sees the face, he realizes that this young woman is none other than Jess's own daughter. He is overcome with shock. He returns and tells Jess to compose herself. Jess comprehends what has transpired. She runs and rushes to the dumpster, and upon seeing her deceased daughter, she completely breaks down. She is weeping uncontrollably. The entire department is in a state of disarray, because a partner's daughter has been murdered by the perpetrator. This is no insignificant matter. Now everyone gets to work as soon as these individuals return. Then for the very first time we learn that Jess's daughter's name is Caroline. Bumpy comes out and reports that where Caroline's deceased body was discovered, a gray van had been inside, and it departed after a brief period. When I inquired about the van, then I discovered that the van had been stolen 3 days prior. But now we are dedicating our efforts to locating that van at all costs. Jess's emotional state is extremely poor. Ray inquires of her that did Caroline inform you of where she was headed today? Jess replies that she never leaves without saying something. Jess returns and says to Ray that I am leaving LA. Now I wish to be alone. I have no desire to do anything. Ray also comprehends her words and says that if you believe that it will make your situation any easier, then you are free to go. I'll get you packed. When he begins the packing process, then he comes across a photograph of Caroline, in which a young man is intently staring at Caroline. Here Ray feels a sense of suspicion for the first time, and he asks Jess that, do you recognize this young man? Jess says no. Then he examines the other photographs, and Jess asks that, may I have these pictures? Jess consents. Taking the photograph, Ray goes directly to the police station, and here he arrives and instructs Bumpy to begin investigating this young man. Bumpy suggests that most of the individuals in this photo are from our own office. Ask them if they recognize this young man. He questions everyone one by one, but they all deny knowing him. Then he becomes frustrated, says that someone attends our party and you don't even recognize him. He goes back and begins to utilize the face detection application. Then Seifert approaches him. He says to him that, what are you engaged in? You are merely an investigator. That too from the Department of Terror Bombing. You are not authorized to work on a homicide investigation. If the department discovers this, then your job could also be at risk. Ray states that it is of no consequence to me. One of our own colleagues' daughter was murdered, and we are just sitting here like this. I will locate this young man at any cost. Now their discussion is in progress. That is when the application identifies this young man, where Caroline was murdered. There is a potential for terrorists to be in the vicinity, and this young man also resides there. Taking this report, Ray goes directly to his superior, whose name is Morales. Morales says that, "What are you doing? You cannot do this. I am unable to grant you authorization to approach this man. You should retain this information. The officer who is overseeing this case. I will forward it to him." After hearing these words, Ray begins to exit. That is when Claire looks at him and inquires, "How is Jace's condition at present?" He replies it's all right. Now their conversation is ongoing. That is when Seifert arrives and announces that we have apprehended the perpetrator. His name is Ghazala. He is now at the police station. Ray does not comprehend how this event transpired so quickly, and why did no one learn about it. He goes straight to Ghazala and informs the police that no one should find out about this. When he goes to Ghazala, he understands that he is not that man. This young man in the photo is not him at all. When he interrogates him, then it is revealed that Seifert has framed this young man. He did nothing to Caroline. Ray returns in a fit of rage and begins to assault Seifert. He asks the same question. "Why did you do this? Why are you attempting to protect the young man in the photo? You framed an innocent young man in the case." Seifert explains, "Because he is my informant, and I do not want the police to get to him. He is a very valuable asset to us." Ray says, "You cannot do this." Seifert says, "Why do you not understand what you are saying? You are only focusing on the case of Caroline. We have numerous other cases. We must protect the entire city from terrorists. I had a discussion about this with Morales and the officer who is also handling the murder case of Caroline. We have all made this decision collectively. We are looking at a much larger picture. You are only concerned with Caroline. Try to comprehend what you are saying." Ray says, "Just provide me with the name of that young man." After a moment of contemplation, Seifert reveals his name is Marzin. Now Ray discovers the address of Marzin, and the following day with Bumpy arrives in front of his residence. After a short while, they observe that Marzin's girlfriend is exiting. Then they realize that Marzin is not present inside the house. After she has departed, both of them enter the house. Ray says, "I am on the ground floor. You should go to the first floor." They conduct a thorough search everywhere. They are unable to find anything. Then a comic book falls into Ray's hand, whose narrative is that a young man repeatedly proposes to his crush, but when she continuously rejects him, then he abducts her and murders her. This comic book appears very unsettling to Ray. Then Bumpy also arrives here. Ray explains the entire situation to him. In the meantime, these individuals see that the van has returned. They both run and come out and begin to connect the dots. Ray says that we should have brought that comic book so that we could examine it more closely. Bumpy says, "I have brought it with me." Then Ray becomes pleased. As soon as he gets to his office, Claire reprimands him and says that what you are doing is wrong. You assaulted your own team member Seifert, and without anyone's authorization, you have also trespassed into the van's residence. Ray informs him that you are not aware of the truth. What is transpiring within the department? The man who has been apprehended by these people. He is not the one who murdered Caroline. The entire department is concealing the truth. Here I am the only one who is attempting to uncover the truth. Claire says that you are still in the wrong. You will be required to obey the orders of Morales. Their conversation is in progress. Then Jess arrives at the office. Everyone looks at her and becomes silent. Then Jess's gaze falls upon that comic book. He is unable to conceal it. Jess begins to read the comic book and recalls all the moments that he had shared with his daughter. As soon as he departs, Ray approaches Claire and says that you cannot even imagine what is happening to Jess. I believe Jess is somewhere alone. Do not go out seeking revenge. That is why I want to resolve this case first, so that Jess does not take any foolish action. You just need to remain silent and do not disclose anything to anyone. Then Claire consents, and now she is prepared to offer her assistance. They both devise a plan that first and foremost they must locate that van. While conversing in this manner, they arrive at the parking area. Then Claire reveals that she is getting married next month. Soon her fiancé is scheduled to arrive here. Now she returns home the following day as soon as she comes back. First she comes and meets with Ray. Then Ray begins to talk again about his upcoming marriage. But now Claire does not wish to discuss it. She becomes slightly uneasy. Ray also recommends a beautiful wedding gown to her. Then Claire hands him a key ring and departs. After his departure, when Ray is leaving from here, then he encounters Morales. Morales begins to scold him. He says, "What are you engaged in? Why did you enter the Van's residence? And why did you steal the comic book? You are overstepping your boundaries. The entire city is living in a state of fear, because a bombing is anticipated to occur here, and you are preoccupied with this murder case." Then Ray also becomes incensed. He says, "Ghazala is innocent. The actual murderer is Marzin. That is why I am searching for him. I must first locate that van, which was spotted at that location. And if I must defy everyone, then I will do this as well. To get to the truth, I must find the real murderer." Morales says, "You will never be able to accomplish this. If you genuinely wish to work on this case, then first bring me and find that van." Ray says, "Very well." He departs from here. Then Jess calls him to meet at a bar. He arrives with Bumpy. After arriving here, Jess says, "When I read the comic book, then I discovered Marzin is a huge fan of baseball, and a renowned baseball player. Comes here with his teammates. The 3 trophies he has won, they have been displayed here. After learning about this, I always come here and wait so that he comes here one day. There is an entire group of baseball enthusiasts here, whose name is Dodgers. They come here every Friday, and the most significant thing is that a baseball match is scheduled to take place, and all the members of the Dodger gang will be in attendance. So if he did not come here today, then he will certainly come to watch the match tomorrow." After not showing up here, the next day they arrive at the stadium. Everyone has a photograph of Marzin. His hair is long. They begin to search for him in the stadium. After a short while they spot Marzin. Then Bumpy and Ray start to follow both of them. Marzin is running at a very high speed when Bumpy jumps down from a wall. Then his leg breaks, but Ray is still in pursuit of Marzin. And in the end, he also apprehends him. After apprehending him, as soon as he returns, Claire becomes angry with him and says, "What are you doing? You are being removed from this case. Why did you create a disturbance in the stadium? You could also face charges." Before Morales learns about this, "Release Marzin immediately." Ray says, "I cannot do that. I just want to interrogate him once. And after that, I will let him go. If he did not tell the truth." Claire consents. Ray begins interrogating him. His first question is direct. "Why did you kill Carolyn?" Marzin quickly denies it. "I haven't killed anyone." Ray presses further. "Then why did you try to escape when we spotted you in the stadium?" Marzin replies calmly, "I'm an informant. I didn't even realize you were cops. That's why I ran." Ray keeps throwing questions at him, but Marzin dodges every single one. His confidence is unsettling. He knows Ray's hands are tied, and nothing can be done to him. At this moment, Claire enters the room. She starts talking to Ray, but her eyes drift toward Marzin. She notices a few buttons of his shirt left open, and from there, she catches him stealing glances. Suspicion sparks in her mind, so she changes her tactic. Claire starts mocking him. Carolyn was a strong athlete. Her bones were tough. Whoever killed her shattered every one of them. I doubt this boy has that kind of strength. Just look at his tiny hands. She goes further. The fingerprints were erased with chloroform. Does he even have that much intelligence? And Carolyn was raped, her body violated with a 9-inch object. I don't think Marzin could measure up. The words sting like daggers. Marzin loses his cool. Enraged, he pulls down his pants and shouts, "Do you still think I'm small?" He hurls curses at Claire and even strikes her when she confronts him. Ray, furious, attacks Marzin. In his rage, Marzin has practically confessed. But the triumph doesn't last. Morales enters, calling Ray away. He delivers a shocking order. Marzin must be released. Ray is livid. "What? He admitted it." Morales responds coldly, "You assaulted him. Consider yourself lucky you're not the one facing charges. He's an informant and we need him." Ray realizes Marzin is being protected. As they leave, they encounter Jess in the elevator. She has also recognized the truth. Marzin is the killer. Consumed by anger, Ray mutters, "Do what you want with him." But Jess refuses. "I'm not foolish. If I kill him, I'll end up in prison." Outside, they watch Marzin walk away a free man. Soon after, Claire and Ray discover the van they had been searching for. Inside, they find bleach, crucial evidence. But before they can secure it, the van is set ablaze. Ray instantly knows Morales did this to bury the case forever. Heartbroken, he tells Claire he's giving up everything and walks away. Time passes 13 long years. Claire moves on, marries her fiancé, but Ray never stops chasing the truth. He spends those years piecing everything together, determined to find Marzin. When he returns to the department, he's reunited with old faces. Seifert mocks him, bragging about his promotions, while Ray has been stuck in the past. Soon, he realizes the general in charge is none other than Claire, now promoted. Their reunion stirs old feelings. He admits he never truly let go of the case, and believes Marzin is still alive, possibly with a new identity. Jess later joins the conversation, and together they decide this is their last chance. Jess swears, if justice slips away again, I'll kill him myself. The team regroups, following leads. They learn Marzin now goes by a new name and frequents horse races. At the track, Ray spots him. A chase ensues, but Ray, older now, collapses, unable to keep up. Marzin slips away once more. Frustration mounts. Claire urges Ray to move on, even confesses that she once would have chosen him over everything if he had asked 13 years ago. But Ray can't stop. When Louis tips him off that Marzin has returned, Ray rushes to confront him alone. Instead, he's ambushed and knocked unconscious. When he awakens, Marzin, or Beckwith as he now calls himself, stands before him, denying everything. A shootout follows when reinforcements arrive. Seifert is killed, and in the confusion, Beckwith is once again released. Ray is devastated. Later, Claire tries to console him, reminding him that some things are beyond control, like their own lost love. Her husband, Alice, arrives but quietly admits he's always known Claire loved Ray, and leaves. Then comes Jess's confession. She reveals that years ago, after Ray left, she tracked Marzin down, killed him, and buried his body. She wanted vengeance, but she never told anyone, leaving Ray to torment himself for 13 years. Ray is stunned. Jess explains, I didn't want him to have an ordinary death. I wanted his soul to suffer. But Ray senses she's still hiding something. He follows her the next day. What he finds shocks him. Jess hasn't killed Marzin. She's kept him locked up all these years in a hidden room, feeding him scraps, leaving him to rot in a living hell. When Marzin sees Ray, he pleads desperately, kill me. Every second I've begged God for forgiveness. Just end it. Jess's punishment has been far worse than death. Ray pulls out his gun, but instead of shooting, he walks outside. He begins digging a grave. Jess understands what he intends. She finally kills Marzin, ending his torment. And in that moment, everyone is freed. Marzin from his living nightmare. Jess, who no longer has to relive her sister's memory every time she brought him food. And Ray, who finally knows that justice for Caroline has been served. The film closes here,